to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. Liverpool champions. End of story. Let's move on from that one. I'm just playing with you, Liverpool fans. Not that you're watching. You're probably in the comment section, basking in the glory of being Premier League champions, as you should be. As you should be. Man United got a draw on the weekend against Bournemouth. Positive. That's positive, mate. That's positive. You thought you were going to lose, 100%. I know that. Marcus Rashford was slap his wrists, even though he's out for the season, didn't play in the FA Cup game, and it's in his own personal free time. Absolutely crazy from Jamie O'Hara. So I definitely want to discuss that because it can get a bit ridiculous now. But Marcus Rashford can't seem to catch a break, even though he's having a very, very good season since January. I think his goal contributions is he's like 1 in 2 at the moment in all competitions. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy that people are taking shots at him at the moment and out for the season with an injury. Declan Rice was there. No one mentioned that. No issues there, but we'll be discussing. Arsenal have a big Champions League semi-final against PSG. We're going to be discussing that, and Manchester United take on Atletico Bilbao in the semi-finals of the Europa League as well. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Weather's fine. Big game tomorrow.
Big game.
Good, very good, mate. Thanks, very good.
And you, Garth, looking forward to the Bilbao tie?
Yeah, I am actually. I don't think we're going to win. I mean, we're going to get into it in a minute, ain't we? The actual preview, I suppose. But yeah, looking forward to it. Don't know why.
All right. First and foremost, a draw on the weekend against Bournemouth, 1-1 draw. How did that one go? Did it seem a bit more together? Was there a bit more cohesion with it? Did it seem like it was seeing progression in the way that Man United is performing at the moment?
Nah, I mean, we're lucky they got a man sent off, and then we got the goal back. We were all over them after they got a man sent off. We were getting into the ascendancy a little bit just a bit before he got sent off. But now it's just another dead performance from Man United. Again, another game where the opposition's had one shot on target and they've scored a goal. You can't blame Onana for it in any way, shape, or form. But our defence, the 4-man at the back, the 3 centre backs and the goalkeeper, they're not doing enough as a unit. They're clearly not, because we keep giving away silly chances. I mean, look did you see the goal per chance? I don't know if you saw it, but it come from our free kick. We conceded from our own free kick.
Yeah.
So we played. It got played to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw played it to the flank where Dorgu was, but literally there's nowhere to go from there. There's nowhere to go. He loses the ball. They score a goal. So and all through the game, you saw Manchester United players complaining. I've got nothing in front of me. I saw Euro do it. I believe Mazraoui did it as well, and Bruno done it. The formation doesn't lend itself to, at the moment with the players we've got. Let me preface it with that. It doesn't lend itself to a quick turnaround from defence into attack, because in defence you've got those wing backs back, and all that's up top is the 2 AM centres and the 1 striker. So there's nothing on the flanks, and everything's boxed in on the middle. So it's got a lot of work to do, Amrin. I was going to say, so I'm beginning to lose faith. I am beginning to lose faith in Amorim. And I know it's unfair, but it has been horrific. We have regressed under him. He's lost 12 of his opening 23 games in the Premier League. We've gone behind in 13. It's just not acceptable. No matter, people say it's the players. I'm sorry, it's a full team with 4 internationals. It's these aren't bad footballers. They're not. I know the performances haven't been great, but I know the performances haven't been great, but these individuals, someone should be able to get more out of them. They can't all be dead ballers, you know what I mean? So
is it a concern?
I'm starting to see improvement week to week.
Is it a concern that you just said there that people like Bruno's looking around and can't see anyone in front of him when he's potentially meant to be one of the people that he's receiving the ball in the final third, who's his partner around him? who should he be linking up with? Is that a concern?
Yeah, listen. Hoyland, it is Hoyland, but we're asking him to do something that's not. I said this from the start of the season. I said this before we got it. You remember about the 3-5-3 or the 5-3, wherever he plays it, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Hoyland ain't that striker. He's a sit on the last man. He's a target man striker. We are not playing to his strengths. Oh, I feel for the kid. I do. And then if you play Bruno in the 10, then he's the playmaker. So all he's got in front of him usually is going to be Garnacho and Hoyland. They're dropping deep because of this formation. So it's just not working in the Premier League. I said it from the start. I didn't like this formation. As everyone's saying, we've got to give the man his summer transfer window so that we can see some of his players come in, see what he can do then. But as I've said to people before, you've got 2 or 3 players in that have played this formation before. Ugarte played under him in this formation, and he's not even getting every game at the moment. So he's got a big job on his hands, and I will not be happy with anything other than significant improvement come next season. Significant improvement. And that doesn't mean like a little bit. I mean, seriously, I need to see performances go up tenfold, like straight away. Otherwise, we've got cat our losses. We really have. He's only on a 2-year contract. So, and I know people might think this is reactionary, and it's the truth. It is. It's reactionary to what I'm seeing on the football pitch week in, week out. Just quickly though, I did say last week that we ain't beating Spurs in the final if we get there. Having watched the Liverpool Spurs game, I'm taking that back. I'm taking that back immediately.
I told you, mate. They're bad. They're bad. I told you.
We'll smash them up, bro. Because
I think you've got to remember. We'll get on that in a minute as well, but I think you've got to remember that the game that you lost to Spurs at in the cup, there was like end-to-end errors, yeah? Like, and yes, we've seen Unana make some clangers, yeah? But there was like 3 goals which were ridiculous. Like, I'm scratching my head like, how has this happened at both ends? But Tottenham are still doing that. Tottenham are doing that week in, week out. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they're meant to be doing. And Postecoglou is not a Premier League level manager. And I say that with any club. Because you ain't got, if you're one of the bottom teams, you need defense. He ain't got that. If you're one of the top teams, like what squad level does he need? You need a 2015 Barcelona squad to be able to play the way he's playing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, when he come out after 10 games and he said that's who we are, and this is the way we play, no matter what.
I was like, how long are you gonna last? That
was it for me. That was it. But there was a lot of people who were like, nah. This is Haynes. This is Tottenham with like 10 games unbeaten. This is. We had Kevin and Farrell on the show. Oh, if they managers leave, we want Haynes to take over. I was like, you're off your nut. This manager's only got one way of playing. He's not going to survive. And look what's happened. It's an absolute joke. Absolute laughing stock of a manager.
Yeah, they're poor. I don't. Did you watch the Liverpool game, Steve? Or were you watching the semi-final at the time?
I was watching. I watched the semi-final, mate. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I haven't watched them for a while, apart from against Man United. Appalling. But we'll get onto them in a second. But yeah, the game. Listen, if you look at stats only, Man United are improving like in that front. I've just pulled them up now, and I'm actually surprised at it. Shots. 25-8 Man United, shots on target 6-1 Man United, possession 62-38 Man United, passes 470-285 Man United. Like we beat them in every statistic known on the field, but we're just lacking that bite up front. I'm not the biggest fan of Cunha at all. If Amrin wants him, if he thinks that's the man to do this, then fair enough. But I don't see Cunha and Liam Delap being the answer to our problems come the summer. And that looks like, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but that looks like where Man United are looking at the moment, isn't it? Those two.
From what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing and listening to like people on the TV or whatever, it does seem to be that's the way they're heading. Amrin tried to sign Delap when he was at Sporting, and Wilcox.
Did he?
Wilcox was at Manchester City when Delap was coming through. So maybe they've sat down together, and then afterwards you hear the rumblings that Delap's high on United's list, and then you put two and two together, and then it comes up before.
I understand the fees, like it's a guaranteed make some money on him, basically, isn't it? Because it's 30 mil buy release clause now that they're getting relegated.
It's 30 mil.
I can see why they're doing it. I can see why
it was 40 before they got relegated. Yeah, so I get it. I understand it. We've got not a lot of money, so it's probably he got 12 goals in the Premier League this season, is it? I heard someone say, I don't know that stats accurate.
10 or 12, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So look, I've got to trust the gaffer, you know what I mean? But I am, as I said to start with, I'm beginning to lose faith, and it's quickly from a position of me, like I've got to back him. I am quickly like, oh, I'm seeing nothing here. I'm not seeing any improvement, like from anything on the pitch. But football's an emotional business, you know what I mean? We were in the Europa League. It'll all be smiles and come on next season, you know what I mean? Until 8 games in, when we've lost 7. But yeah, not great at the moment being a Man United fan. Not the best time in the world. So.
Would you like someone as well as a Liam Delap?
I think Cunha. I think that's the one, isn't it?
But is Cunha not going to be playing in the role in the 2 10s?
Yeah, in the 10. Yeah, he's coming in as a 10. Delap's coming in as the striker. No, because I think if you take some pressure off of Rasmus Højlund, as he isn't the main man, that he may grow a little bit. Listen, he's never going to be as good as I thought he might have been, but it ain't helping him that he's all we've got. You know, I mean, everything's on his shoulders. I said it when we brought him in. It was a silly move at the time. You know, like, so I don't think there's other areas I'd like to improve before I'm talking about 2 strikers coming in. We need a right wing back. We need a right wing back, a proper right wing back. I'd probably go as far as to say we need another centre midfielder. We need another centre back. But these aren't major, you know what I mean? But also, listen, I'm hearing that Onana might be going to Saudi, so fingers crossed for that. And then we need a goalkeeper as well. So there'd be more I'd want to improve.
It's been linked with quite a lot of strikers, goalkeepers. So it does feel like there's definitely going to be a goalkeeper coming in. Just on Bournemouth, they've had a big rise in the last 18 months since the manager's come in. He's got a style of play, a resilience with that team, and then they're pushing. At one point, they were pushing in for those Champions League spots, maybe. Steve, are there any players in the team? We've seen Antoine Semedo, who's looked really, really good over the last 2 seasons. Justin Kluivert, Huijsen, Kerkez. Do you see that Bournemouth struggling to keep hold of their players this season because they've done so well and pushed up so much in the league? Yeah,
I mean, that's what their summer's about. Their summer's not about probably strengthening. Their summer's going to be about keeping them and offering them their new contracts and probably giving them pay rises. And you can't do all that and go and strengthen. Yeah. You know, not to a massive degree anyway. You might be able to bring in the odd 3 or something. But when you've got players like that who, you know, most from what we're hearing, most big clubs, you know, are looking at, your thing that, you know, you need to concentrate on is keeping them. And that's what they need to do, as well as the manager. But, you know, again, because he's just as important as keeping the players. Yeah. But from what I'm hearing regarding the manager, he's going nowhere. Yeah. So he will definitely be at Bournemouth next season, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm understanding. So yeah, look, they're a good little team, Bournemouth. I like watching them, enjoy watching them. They've got some big talent. They've got some good talent there. And yeah, look, I mean, Bournemouth's next step is, you know, trying to get into them European places, and they're not going to really get into those European places by selling, you know, the 4 players there that you've mentioned. So big window for different reasons for Bournemouth. And yeah, one of the clubs that you always, you know, whenever you're watching on the telly, unless they're playing your own team, you always want them to win. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just a nice club. It's a good, nice little family club. And it's got to be about keeping them. They got some good players. Semenyo, you've already Kursic. I mean, look, Liverpool are knocking around for Kursic. Semenyo, a few people are looking at him. You know, a few of the top teams. So it's going to be like a, you know, Bournemouth fans are going to be sort of like holding their breath, you know, and hoping that they can keep them. That'll be their main thing. I think anyway.
Garth, do you think they're going to struggle to keep some of their best players this summer?
Yeah, of course they are. But I mean, there's a couple of things in Bournemouth's favour. Is big money you're talking about for these players. I mean, Huijsen's, what is it, 50 mil to release clause. Kirkus doesn't have a release clause, so
you can ask.
Yeah, so like, I mean, so big. Yeah, you could. Yeah, and they've got other players as well. You know that Alex Scott, which Kirkus and Alex Scott. If you remember, were the two of the players I said, man, I should buy a couple of years ago. Like, I was like,
I was going to mention Alex Scott, but he just started to get into some
all season.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, last season he was injured for quite a bit of it, and then now he's coming to. I'm surprised Bournemouth got both of them, to be fair, especially Curtis. I mean, it was one of them. Admittedly, this is like if you play Football Manager, but it's pretty accurate. And for a couple of years, that kid's been the best young left back you can buy in the game, sort of thing. So fair play to him. So the scouting department's obviously decent. Their owner looks like he's taking very good care of them. Just bought back their ground, hasn't he? So it's under his ownership now, so that he can rebuild, and they're taking it up. The seats up. I feel like the only way's up for them. They're going to struggle, of course, but the other big thing now is FFP. 50 mil ain't 50 mil like it used to. Like, there's a lot of money coming off your books, and you've really got to think about if I'm taking this player, what am I not getting? And this is the bonus of this is the good side of the FFP, the PSR, is that these smaller teams do have a chance to keep hold of their players. You look at Crystal Palace with Mark Gay last year. He was wanted. 70 mil, that's the price. No one could afford it.
Eze as well, wasn't it? Eze the same.
You know, Eze another one, you know what I mean? Like, there's the price. If you want him, that's the price. No one could put that on their books. Arsenal couldn't, like Liverpool couldn't, Man United couldn't, like. So that's one thing that Bournemouth got in their favour. You're talking a lot of money for these players. And I think Kurzik is definitely gone from, like, he's the one. Dean Hussein, I hope they keep him, because I think he needs another year at Bournemouth to really like grow in the Premier League, and then next year you can like see whether he is the real deal. He looks like he is going to be. Next year's the one, and then so obviously I live in Bournemouth, so fingers crossed. All my mates down here, they get to keep as many of them as they can.
Just on Huijsen, a player who he only come in the summer, wasn't it? And his stock has risen massively, very quickly. Obviously, highly regarded before that, and came in. It seemed to be a bit of a coup for Bournemouth. So I was quite surprised that after only about 6 months that they're talking about release clauses and other clubs bringing him in. So I'd like to see him there for another season. I don't really want to see these players moving from pillar to post. Like he's doing well. Stay there another season. There's no rush. You already got the CV with Juventus under it, and clubs are looking at you. There's no harm in staying at Bournemouth for another season. I think
as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there's a little. I don't know what it is, or whether he's trying to get like a new contract at Bournemouth for the next year or two, or he's trying to up his wages. We're seeing like some top transfer journalists come out for Brit shows. One of them, and I think he was the first one to come out with the Houston, Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea interests. And as soon as I see it, I was like, this sounds very agency based to me. Because I mean, and believe me, it happens. Things like that do happen. So I'm not saying what he ain't told weren't true. I'm sure it came from his agent for me, because look, I mean, just for an example, the Arsenal interest, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I understand why we leave any defence centre backs at the moment.
50 million Arsenal interested in him. It just don't add up. I mean, I'm like, what? Arsenal are not going to buy a 50 million 19-year-old centre back. I mean, for one, they don't really need one. Do you know what I mean? And it just, you've already sort of covered it there. I mean, why would Houston would want to go to a big club at 19, 20 and sit on the bench? You want to stay at a club, and you want to, build your career. And what better club than Bournemouth to do that?
Yeah.
You know, every week. It just didn't make it. It's a very strange. I mean, it's all the news at the minute, isn't it? You know, about Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool interested in him, and it just don't add up. It don't add up. But we'll see. Funny, strange things happen, and players think weird things. And clubs think weird things.
It'd be a bad move for him. It'd be a bad move for him to go anywhere where he's not going to be the starting centre back, and he isn't going to be at Arsenal clearly. And I doubt it, like, unless they're going to sell Konate or like out of the blue, like some random things happening that you're selling Gabriel or Saliba, which obviously isn't going to happen. Like, be a bad move for him. Chelsea, probably a better move for him, but.
It's just another young centre back.
That's my concern. Is Chelsea? They are looking for a centre back. They need a centre back. 50 million to Chelsea ain't a problem. They can pay that easily. It's one of them. If they get Champions League, he's looking at Champions League, Chelsea will also be thinking there's a sell here. We can easily make 30 mil on him if he has two good seasons. Barcelona, Real Madrid sniffing around looking for centre backs. Yeah, that's my concern.
If he's got good people behind him, they'll be telling him to stay at Bournemouth. You know, just hope that they have. You know,
it would have been nice.
But
to
then again, that's the problem. He's Dutch by the way. He plays for Spain, but he's Dutch, isn't he?
Spanish.
So he's got no. Yeah. So what did I say? No, he's actually Dutch, isn't he? He was born in Amsterdam.
He's Spanish international.
But he plays for Spain.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah, he was born. He's Dutch.
Yeah.
He's Spain by way of Holland. He's going to have no love for Bournemouth apart from they brought him in. You know what I mean? It's not like he's only been there a year. If Chelsea come in with the money, with the offer, with the Champions League football, with this, you're going to be like, I can start. Listen, I'd move, you'd move, we'd all move. You're talking about doubling your wages. You're talking about Champions League football. You're talking about playing at the top end of the Premier League. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't begrudge him that move. If he went somewhere where he's not guaranteed to be a starting centre back, I think that's silly, very silly for him at this point. So.
I think I wouldn't rule out the Liverpool one either, because isn't there a dispute with Konate in his contract? He wants more than 80 grand a week.
But isn't this his breakthrough season, Kears? I mean, look, you two might know more about him than me, but I've only just sort of become aware of him this season. I mean, are you going to start whacking him in your first team at Chelsea at Liverpool off the back of a season of 19-20 euros?
No, yeah.
Don't add up.
He's good, man. I mean, no, he's very good, Steve. And he's
had mate.
Football.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he ain't good. He looked, but 50 million's a lot. It's just the one season thing. I personally, if I'm someone who wants to bring him in, I'd be like, yeah, look, you've done it this season. I want to see what you do next season. If living in in a proper world.
But next season he's 75 mil.
Yeah,
next season he's 80 mil.
This is Chelsea.
Yeah. But then again, he could be worth 15 mil. Could be worth 20 mil.
Yeah. We're saying this, Steve. We're saying this, but you're playing an 18-year-old at left back. Man United are playing an 18-year-old at centre back at the moment, and they're both being quite successful. This geezer's 20, and he's had a full season at Bournemouth, and he's been very good. He's a full Spain international. He's playing international football for Spain, man. Like, I know it's saying yes, it's his breakout year. But he's already had a season in Italy as well. It's not
that's my ask. So I'm asking. I've only seen him off the back of that.
He had a season at Juventus.
If you're telling me he's going to be Juventus as well,
I'm not saying he's going to be a success.
Then it's different. There's 2 seasons he's done it.
I don't think he played much at Juventus. I think it was Roma he did quite well at. I'm just
Roma. It was Roma.
I know you're saying he went on loan from Juventus to Roma, didn't he? I think he only played a couple of games for Juventus. He come through their academy, the Next Gen Academy or whatever it is, and then did a little time. I know what you're saying, Steve. It's a risk, but at least I don't think there's a better young prospect that you can say that's got Premier League experience than Dean Huijsen at the moment that you can actually get as well. You know what I mean? So, and Chelsea will just buy anyone. I think anyone going to Chelsea is a bad move at the moment because of this.
That's it. That's what I would say. Is Chelsea will buy anyone off of like the form that they're in right now. And Chelsea have been like that for years. Like, they will buy a player that if you play well against Chelsea, there's a chance they could buy you. And I look at their defence. They've got Trevor Chalobah. They've got Tosin Adebayo, and they've got Colwell. They rate Colwell well. The other two are going. Tosin will probably stay, and be a squad player. Trevor Chalobah will go, and then they've got Balashay on the bench. I can see Chelsea sniffing around him in the summer.
But what do you pay? What you rather pay 60 for an England international than 50 for Hyson? And look, please don't think I'm putting down Hyson. It's more about like the old man looking at the young kid and thinking, do what's right. This is where I'm more or less going at. But if you're Chelsea, surely you're looking at a 25-year-old international, 60 odd million for 10 million more. Don't add up. Don't add up. Just don't.
Is it 60 though? Because is that gone down? Because last year they wanted 70, didn't they? I don't know. Palace wanted was 70.
I think that's what it's going to boil down to, isn't it? It's going to boil down to who can they get the cheapest? How much better is Gay to Huijsen? Could we make a profit on Huijsen? If Huijsen doesn't go great, could we still get the money back for him?
Yeah, I mean, Huijsen might be the next Rio Ferdinand.
Chelsea also thinking because everything with Chelsea at the moment is bring more money in. If they sign Mark Gay, they lose out on their 20% sell-on fee from him at Palace. Yeah. So is that coming into their thinking at all? It might do, you know what I mean? I'm saying, Steve, I know exactly where you're coming from. For me personally, I think Dean Huijsen's better than Mark Gay. I really do. Right now, I think he's better than Mark Gay. I really do.
That's a massive statement.
I don't think Mark Gay is quite as good as statement. I know it is, but I don't think Mark Gay is quite as good as a lot of people think. And that's coming from my wife's a Palace fan, my father-in-law's a big Palace fan. I've watched a lot of them. He's decent, but I don't think he's got the ceiling or the potential of Dean Huijsen. Listen, could be very wrong. Like you said, Dean Huijsen,
I can agree on that.
Go Chelsea, and it all falls down.
He was our best defender in the Euros, guy. By a long way. Absolutely. Yeah. So we've seen him at the top level. And he was by far he was probably one of the best centre-backs in the Europe.
So what I will say about Mark Gahey is
Euros.
Yeah, what I will say of Mark Gahey is the reason why he was the best or one of the best defenders at the Euros was his aggression. He's first on the tackle. His timing of the defending, like very good defensively. I think as a player overall, Huijsen has got a higher ceiling if you're talking about ball playing centre backs.
We're talking
about a Gabriel and a Saliba kind of playing style. That's Gabriel, Huijsen's the Saliba, and I think people are looking for the Salibas at the moment.
Yeah, I ain't seen enough of him to come up with like a. He's better than him. He's better than him. I
get your point entirely.
Yeah.
The safer is probably Mark Gahey in the long. Right now, it's probably the safer bet. But listen, football clubs don't think like that anymore. You know what I mean? Like Chelsea are always thinking about the sell-on. How much more can we get from it? Like that's what it feels like Chelsea at the moment, don't you? No, I mean,
I think they saw the release clause and went, you know what? Who's that player that's got a release clause? Can we do we're getting, we're taking. Like Chelsea at the moment, it feels like they don't think first. It's money.
It could be the Saliba, couldn't he? He could be a Saliba. He could be a Ferdinand. He could be something like. I mean, I'm not putting them through the same.
No. He's that type.
But he could. So I haven't seen enough of Huijsen to sort of.
Yeah, honestly, I think you like him, Steve. He's big and aggressive as well. He must be 6'5", I think.
Yeah,
he's a big.
Just don't go Chelsea, mate. If you're watching, if you happen to be watching tonight, Dean. Just don't go Chelsea, mate. Please.
Don't go Chelsea.
Don't go Chelsea, lad.
Don't go Chelsea. Go to Liverpool, and even if Canati stays,
how do I
bide your time. Bide your time, and then
reflex came up there.
Yeah, but don't go Chelsea. They could end up being 12th and 15th again. They're that type of club at the minute, can't they?
Yeah, that will be the biggest loss for Bournemouth this season. Though. Going back to Bournemouth, losing. I think they can get Kirkhead's very good player. I like him a lot. But I think that Huijsen will be the biggest loss to Bournemouth this season.
I think if they've won, they've come
Yeah.
to terms. I think from like what I'm hearing anyway, the one that they've come to terms with that they will lose is Kirkist. I think they've more or less.
Yeah.
I think if they had to hold their hands up and say who's going, it'd be him. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think Man City are in for him. Liverpool, I think he'll go Liverpool, but Man City could get him. They're looking for a left back.
Oof. Could be. Watch
That's
this.
it. Where did you go?
Yeah. No, do you know what? I'd rather go City.
I'd go City.
Honestly, yeah. Look, I don't want to really get into this because there's a lot of out of rain on Liverpool's parade. But I don't think that I'm seeing a lot of their fans talk about domination. Domination. Like,
oh God,
I don't see domination when I'm looking at Liverpool right now. Sorry.
No.
And this is not hating. It's not hating. I'm not saying like I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it's a rubbish Premier League. Yeah. I just don't see domination when I'm looking at Liverpool right now. All right. Like you got a 33-year-old centre back that you give a 2-year contract.
Stop chatting, Liverpool.
Like you won the league. Well done. Enjoy it.
Well done's going to
last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew I never knew the fans were this bad. I've always had.
I didn't either. I didn't either. Well, Gaslight.
I'm like, what?
It's funny how league titles, Premier League titles quickly switches up to league titles, and the Premier and the league didn't start in 1992, mate.
I mean,
all right.
It's only Premier League titles. That's all it counts now.
I talk about Premier League titles, and I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, you've won 20 titles, yeah. But you've won 2 Premier League titles.
Yeah. What was it? Someone said I like the quote. You've edged in front of Blackburn and Leicester.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, fair play, Liverpool. Congratulations. Listen, in all seriousness, for a Man United fan, Scott's come in. I was not expecting him to do the job he's done. Fair play. You know, I mean, no, it is not the worst Premier League season of all time. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. I think what Goldbridge was talking about, 97, where it was Man United Newcastle, we won the league on like 70 same points or something crazy like that. So, like, fair play to you. He's done a magnificent job, but calm it down a little bit. Like, you've got a couple of years' time, you've got some big, I think that's what you're saying, Kieran. You've got some big boys to replace. Let's calm it down. And Man City I'm positive Man City will be back next year. Arsenal are always going to be there. It seems at the moment you're only improving year on year. Like, you've got other teams coming up, you know what I mean? Like, so slowly roll a little bit, but congratulations. Magnificent win for the title. Brings you back on level with Man United as most of the titles won. But yeah, like, calm it down. Calm it down.
Yeah, I think they do need to calm it down. And as far as like there's been a big conversation about the worst, the best, the Premier League. I think it depends. These things all depend on how you look at it, doesn't it? You know, from probably a fan's point of view, you will all enjoy the league in a different way, won't you, throughout the season? I mean, it's like on a league basis, I haven't enjoyed this. This ain't been enjoyable for me. Do you know what I mean? We've had injuries all season. I haven't seen our full team at any point, and we've never been in a title race all season. So for me, it's like a damp squid. But then other teams will look at it differently.
My heart bleeds for you, Steve.
What?
My heart bleeds for you, Man United fan. I dare you sit there looking me in the eye. I dare you sit there looking me in the eyeballs going, I have enjoyed this season. Come down to my level for a couple of months. I'm hearing that everyone's enjoyed it. When do I get my enjoyment this year? When's my enjoyment? Because it ain't happened yet,
yeah.
I tell you.
But I genuinely thought at the beginning of the season this could be the reason we lift it. So I haven't enjoyed it. But yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Every fans, because listen, you talk to Bournemouth fans, you talk to Brighton, you talk to Forest fans, you talk to Newcastle fans. This is going to be their best season they've seen in their entire lifetime.
Exactly,
you know
mate.
I mean?
100%.
So your point is exactly right. It really depends.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth are only
you support.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, for Man United fans, it's been like awful, isn't it? It must be been like tepid. You know, you haven't enjoyed it. Man United are used to title challenges. Do you know what I mean? So, and at the moment,
Not even that. The
Arsenal
worst football I've ever seen, mate.
Yeah, but Arsenal with the last 3 years have been in title challenges. Do you know what I mean? And this year, like you from early on, me as a personally, I've just never seen Arsenal as challenging for that title. So, yeah, I mean,
now we challenge from day one.
Have, but
that's the level and the expectations that we have.
And my prediction for like next season will be the same as this one.
In August, let's face it.
In August.
My prediction will be the same.
Can you tell me how we bottled the league? Yeah. Well, because your fan said it was your season. That's how we gauge it now. I would gauge it on the fan base that says it's our season. So because of that, just so I can remember that, because I'm going to be going through all the comment sections this summer to see what everyone's got to say about this.
It's a strange thing, this bottling thing. It's a very strange thing, because if you finish second, we might not finish second. We might finish third or fourth at the moment. Way we really start performing a bit. But if you finish second, if a football team finishes second 3 years in a row, you're a bloody good football team.
Well, you're ridiculed, mate. Apparently.
So how can you make fun of a team that you're calling it that probably in the top 5, 6 in the world? It's mad.
I don't know how you've been feeling, Garth, but pretty shit. But it's only been the last couple of weeks that I felt that the pressure has been off of us, and they've been more focused on how bad Man United and Tottenham have been this season. Because all season,
we've got this shit, mate.
All I felt is like
100%.
Other teams in the Premier League, because you seem to be talking about us all the time, and like Man United down there, Chelsea are barely scraping Champions League, if that. Tottenham are down there, and you're looking at us. The
only thing I'll say is that it's not like you've come second 2 years in a row where that was where you should have come. In fairness, you should have won the league one of the last couple of years. And I think that's what it stands on. But it's only Arsenal teams get called bottlers. Yeah, Liverpool never get called bottlers. I don't understand how they didn't get called bottlers last year or the year, whenever it was. So it's us an Arsenal thing. It's clear that it's a media-driven. What's the word I'm looking for here? Campaign's the wrong word. But listen, I suppose when you're a big team, this is what happens. You sell papers. Yeah, you sell narratives. That's good. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Same as when Man United were at their peak. Like you're newsworthy. Whether that's bad news for you or good news for you, you're newsworthy, and so people keep your name in the paper. And it's a very lazy and easy narrative to continue with.
And we
especially it's
different for Arsenal fans.
It's like
it's different for Arsenal fans because you're in it, so you don't see it. Yeah, but from the outside, it is a little bit like Stotts walked in and won the league in his first year. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that you've seen no hope of progression, but it must, in the back of your brain, you must understand that there's a little bit from everyone else like, well, what's Arteta up to then? How has Arteta not done it? No one's thinking about the fact that Arteta come into a squad that was absolute dog, and it's taken him 4 years to get that team up to where it needs to be, and Slot's walked into a title-ready team. People don't go that deep on these questions. There's no nuance to this. You know what I mean?
I think with Slot,
go that deep.
Yeah. I think with Slot, you got at the beginning when he came in, my problem with him was that I thought, will the players take to him? Will he be able to do, come in, and will the players respect Slot? Will Slot be able to hand these world-class players that are already at the club, right, from coming from a Dutch club into these, this one of the biggest clubs in the world? So with that, I just thought no. With the way Man City and Arsenal are looking, you're not going to do that. But what Slot's he's come in and he's earned the respect of the players, and the players have earned the respect for Slot. Hence why they've sort of more or less sort of performed the same way that they have done under Klopp over the last few years.
It's been a natural transition. Yeah, it's been a seamless transition. He hasn't changed that team, has he? He hasn't changed.
No, but he's also said he's tried to keep to the Klopp tactics as much as possible. Yeah, and it's only made slight adjustments.
That's what I was about to ask.
That's what he said.
Let's see.
And it's done. Yeah, so he's come in and used the blueprint in front of him. Like, so fair play in a sense, but I just don't. What I don't think you, as much as people want to compare it, and as much as I'd love to be bantering Arsenal about it, you can't compare the two. Arteta and Slot is two different things. It's two different scenarios. It ain't the same. You can't be like, just because Slot's done it in 1 year, what's Arteta up to?
No.
Unless you're bantering, you know what I mean? But if you're saying that unironically, you got to look at yourself because it just ain't the same. It ain't the same.
Yeah. I mean, if Real Madrid are looking for a manager tomorrow, for instance, or Barcelona's they're not looking at Slot over Arteta. You know, they're going for Arteta, I would have thought. But yeah, look, I mean, just give him his flowers. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, they usually come to England, do they? So
yeah, but you know, I do.
I can't see. Arteta's too hard to get out.
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of credit in him, but give him the credit due. And look, I don't want to keep what they've had. Liverpool have had. Do you know? Look, give them their credit, right? They've lost 2 games this season, and you can only beat what's in front of you, right? And they've done that, but they've not been pushed this season, and that's a big thing in football. When you've got teams pushing you throughout the season, they've had no pressure all season. Arsenal and Man City have just waddled behind, and do you know what I mean? Like a damn squid. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's for injuries, circumstances, they haven't had. They've not pushed Slot or Liverpool to sort of like go into a game and like, we got to win this, or they're behind their back. What if they've not had that all season? They've had this 3-1. They've looked behind. Where's Man City and Arsenal? Oh God, look, he's injured. He's out. He's out. Rodri's out. Saka's out, and we're just plodding along and just going along nicely with Salah scoring.
They haven't had any. Yeah, it's exactly. It doesn't have any hardship this year either. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to start digging, like, there's been no major injuries to their key players at all. It feels like, I'm sure the Liverpool fans going to be like, fans like that for 4 weeks. I'm talking 3 months, people. I'm talking you're missing 12, 15, 20 games of the season, like major injuries. Salah has been on fire. It's coalesced at the right time for Liverpool. Yeah. I'm not taking. This is the problem. Liverpool fans will think that we're taking it away from win. I'm not. We're not. It's. Whoever wins the league, however you win the league, it's a magnificent achievement.
But the thing is, Garth, if it was Arsenal or Man United that's won this league like this, do you know what I mean? We're intelligent football people. We'd take into consideration and think, we know they've had these players out. Do you know what I mean? We know they ain't pushed us all season. But the trouble is, you get so many twats nowadays, don't you? Who just come out and go, oh yeah, it's the greatest league ever, it's the best league ever. Do you know what I mean? You think?
Yeah, what I would say, is there's a lot of talk from people, but like, and yes, there's been like the bigger, not even bigger accounts. Like, there's been people that have said it on the socials, but like, what kind of level of credibility do they really hold in the football world? They
don't.
So to turn around and say it's been a rubbish season, it's been a poor season, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't get annoyed by that. I really wouldn't.
No.
Last 2 seasons ago, or for the last 2 seasons, they've been talking about, only reason why Arsenal are top because everyone's fallen off. Now all of a sudden, Liverpool fans are upset because a couple of people have said that it's the worst season in the world. Who cares? That's what I mean. If Arsenal would have won that league 2 seasons ago, do you think I'd be care that people go, the only reason why you're top is everyone else falling off? Chelsea rubbish, Man United rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, they're still rubbish, mate. It's 3 seasons on. They're still down there. Yeah. They're still down there.
So there's just so much noise. If you was to ask Farrell, he would turn around and he'd say to you, "Yeah, look, you haven't pushed us all season. You've had millions of injuries out. Do you know what I mean? But you get fans like that. I mean, there are good Liverpool fans who understand what's gone on, and you come to the conclusion. And you're not bottle jobs or anything like that. I don't know where this bottle job come from. I mean, when Arsenal, Man United were going head to toe, for I don't know how many years it was, 6, 8 years, was it? I don't know. I never. We won the title. Obviously, Man United won more than us at the time. We was battling, but I never thought that when we edged them for, I think, 3 times that they was bottlers or they bottled it.
I never thought that. It really, honestly,
never come into my mind.
It didn't cross my mind when it was like going toast, and even when it was Chelsea goal. It didn't cross my mind that one of the team were bottlers. It was just like, fair play, didn't win the league. like we're going for next year. This whole notion that someone's a bottle job, someone's this, it's a term in football which is not going to go away, and it's such a lazy argument. It's such a lazy point to make.
Did Real Madrid bottle it and burn above?
You take away credit from the other team that have kept the pressure on them and won those games and won the league. Like, why is it always the team that hasn't done it that they're the problem and not the other team that have pulled it back? Like,
it's the social media. It's the age we're in now. This is the thing, Eric. Nothing's about your team. It's all about how to dump on other teams to get your social media points, to get your clicks, to get your views. Everyone seems to be so worried about everything apart from their own team. Like, it's weird, you know. Like these Liverpool fans that are crying about like, why aren't other people giving us more credit? Who cares, mate? Just give yourself credit. You don't need credit from me.
Yeah.
I'm a United fan. I hate you. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you one round of applause, and then I'm going to act like this season never again. Like, because I don't want to remember it. Just be. Just be happy with yourself. So you don't but because everyone now you got to get your soundbite out. You got to get your tweet out. That's going to get the viral. Go viral by dumping on other teams, and it's a weird mentality. It really is.
You can't even get away from it, Garth. Can you? You can't even get away from it. It's not like. Maybe you think, oh, God, the socials are driving me absolutely mental with all this nonsense I keep hearing. You can't even turn on the radio, can you? You can't even watch Match of the Day. There's some dickhead ex-professional talking nonsense and calling you a bottle job. Or you turn on the radio, listen to a football show, a proper football show with proper football people who've been in the game years. And they're saying, like, you're on there, but I bottled it. You got Jason Cunder, Jamie Troy Deeney talking bollocks all the time. What the fucking hell's going on here, man? You can't get away from it.
It's the proliferation. It's the proliferation of social media coming into real punditry. Me and Keir have spoken about this for a bit.
Never on camera.
Real pundits. Yeah, I want real pundits. Like, I'll watch Match of the Day and Sky for real punditry. If I want YouTube punditry, if I want, I'll watch Saturday Social. That's you know what I mean? But if you're doing actual match highlights, I don't want to see expressions. And I love me some expressions. I don't want to see Makoda. Like, I want to see ex-pros talking about it. You know what I mean? But unfortunately,
I used to love.
This is where it's gone.
I used to love the Sunday supplement. I know I'm an old man.
No, I used to love that.
I used to love the Sunday supplement.
What they said.
Was that the newspaper? Was that the football sitting around with the papers?
Yeah.
Proper football chat, football people, proper football people. None of this thingy having a right. And they used to have some rucks some weeks. Do you know what I mean? With that, but it was proper.
But youngers will find it well boring now, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
Youngers will find it well boring now, Steve. It has to be. It has to be 2-3 minutes. That's all you get. You know what I mean? And so the Sunday supplement. I mean, does that even still exist?
No.
Yeah, they had some good people on there. Like, there's a lot of the people that I can't stand.
Just journalists, weren't it?
But it's that they're knowledgeable. So even if you don't agree with them, they come with
they put it a good way.
They come with some substance as to why they believe this. That is fine. That's what I want. This is what I can't stand about the modern day football fans that are on the socials. They just want to make a point. He's rubbish. He's dead food. Yeah. Get him out of my club. There's no substance to it. There's nothing there. There's no context, no nuance. It's just that. And then people are like, yeah. Like, come on, man.
But you can't even get away from it now. It just annoys me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I used to, going back 2 years, I used to have them all, and I've just deleted each one. Sort of as the days, the months have gone on. Now I put on my YouTube. There's nothing there. It's full of Bluey, the dog from Australia, right? And Ryan's World, and then there's after about 20 kids.
Some of the young grandkids. Is that what you're saying?
Show pops up.
In the middle there is the Athletic. Sitting there between the middle, all these cars, the Athletic, and I'm like, that's all I got. That's all I got now. And KS1 TV, of course.
So everyone watching, if you do want concise, quality football punditry, the Transfer Exchange Show on TikTok. And, what's your new app, Steve? What's your new app called? I forget now. Is it just Football Transfers, the new app?
Football Transfers app, yeah. Yeah, just
solid,
go.
concise, quality football journalism in the palm of your hand on your phone from both these boys. So make sure you download or watch both of them because that's where you're going to get it from.
Of course. And other 442's decent. Is it Tifo as well? Decent.
Who's always been decent. Yeah.
442
Connoisseurs magazine back in the
is
day.
the Connoisseurs. Football magazine. You used to get right into it. Like
no posters.
No posters. You started off with like Shoot magazine. Yeah, more posters. Like
or Match.
Then you went to Match magazine. Then you went to 442. Back in the day.
When you went to 442, you was getting intellectual then, weren't you? You was getting intellectual with 442. You was going up a level. You was going up a level with 442.
You moved up to World Football Magazine, Carl. I stopped at 442.
That was like. Yeah, that was even back then when it was like £6. You know what I mean? In like 1999, like that's an expensive magazine.
But kids, we done.
Do I get GQ or do I get World Football?
Kids, I mean, look, we started up, or you started up the Transfer Exchange show because of that, because of exactly that. People were watching. That's why I went here. You hear how it is, and proper football opinion. Because 5 years ago, Kieran obviously started it up. He brought me in on it, and then Garth afterwards. Right, because we was fed up with the shit that we was hearing. 5 years later, it's just multiplied, isn't it?
It's got worse. But now we've got Steve K in the mix of it, in the trenches, digging out stories, throwing them into the gutter, throwing them into the flames, and pulling up some truths. That's what we've got here, Steve.
Yeah, that's what we've become. We had some good people on the show. Well, they've gone on to other big things as well. And
everyone who's touched this show have moved on to big things.
Now these three old men have finished renting. Shall we talk about what should we go to Arsenal?
Champions Proper football players.
In my day.
Stay tuned for a new show.
This is why
three moany old men
don't last any longer. Soccer Saturday's gone. It's because they were giving it the old gritted teeth and saying back in my day too much. So I'll do that. But we've got big game on Tuesday against PSG, Steve. It's not been as much media on it as there was the Real Madrid ties. There's not been much from the Parisians, is it? The Paris fans talking about how they're going to do this. It's all very, very, very quiet at the moment. So they're obviously going to let the football do the talking. How are you feeling with the game coming up tomorrow night?
Yeah, funny enough, really a lot more excited and a lot less nervous, if you like. Look, when the match kicks off, so I'll be a bag of nerves. But really excited, really looking forward to it. And just hoping that by like 10 o'clock tomorrow night, we've got one foot into the final of the Champions League. That's my hope. Do you know what I mean? Which is easier said than done. But I'm really looking forward to it, mate. I mean, I'd never said at the beginning of the season we would be here at semis. I don't think I would have, said that we would have got to the semi-finals with Barcelona, Inter, PSG, and what's the other one? That's it. In Milan. Yeah, I would never have thought it. So. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's funny, out of the four teams that finished at the top, 3 teams finished at the top. The only one that ain't in it is Liverpool. So, enjoy your title. You notice that it's Liverpool, Inter, Arsenal, Barcelona. Liverpool went, they've dropped out and PSG have gone up. But we won't talk about that. But look, I'm really excited, mate. Especially, look, I think. The game at the Emirates we beat Real Madrid was fantastic. I still the way we played in Madrid. I think it was like it even sort of surprised me a little bit. You know, the way they played, they just outplayed them. They outstrengthened them. They outmuscled them. They walked on. They looked like when they walked on the pitch from the first minute to the 90 that they just was not. They knew that wasn't going to be. We had all the math all week from Real Madrid saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. From everywhere, even from the English press. Do you know what I mean? Spanish press. Everyone said but they, that can get to some players, can get to people, and you go into Bernabeu and before you can be 2-0 down after 10 minutes and it changed. But no, the way they played in that second leg against Madrid, I fancy us against anyone, mate. I fancy us at the Emirates. I fancy us against. I fancy us in PSG. I think it's like, look, we can win this, mate. We can win it. I'm not saying we're going to, because I don't want to put the mockers on it. I don't want to say what happens. But I think, look, after the way we performed against Madrid, again, not in me guilty to repeat myself, but it's made me really confident that we can get the result against PSG. And I think a lot of people think the same. A lot of people I speak to have, are saying that, I think, I've heard, Ferdinand said, I read while I was going through one of the socials, I think I was looking through TikTok one day, having a dance up and whatever, and Ferdinand picked it up and said, PSG's probably, this is the worst match they could have drawn, Arsenal, because the way they are at the moment, to play. They would rather have played a Barcelona, do you know what I mean, or not Arsenal, but we'll see. It'll all be on the night, mate. And excited. Can we win it? Yes. I think we've got a massive chance of winning it, and making history. But as I said last week as well, I think that the other team will all be saying the same thing, and rightly so, because I think it's a toss of a coin, this Champions League. I think anybody can win it, and I think tonight, as I say, my hope for tomorrow is that we can get a nice little win to take to Paris and do the same type of job that we did against Real Madrid and get us through to the Champions League final, mate. Fingers crossed.
Mikel Arteta has told the fans, I'm not exaggerating, guys, bring your boots, shorts and your shirts. Let's play every ball together. Garth, it's those sorts of rallying cries that the fans need, especially after the atmosphere that they brought for the Real Madrid tie at home. And we know that Paris are notorious for their fans being loud, home and away. It's that you need the fans on side. You need that 12th man, don't you, for these sorts of ties?
Yeah, I personally don't. Like, yes, you do, 100%. But this is a game where the players need to get it's not that the fans should do it off their own back. The players need to perform to get the fans on their side, because it's going to be. Listen, Arsenal will be going 10 to the dozen. Of course, they were in the semi-finals of the Champions League. You know what I mean? Arsenal need to score first. Like, not that it matters if you win or lose, but Arsenal needs to score first to just settle that crowd down and then get that hype up. You know what I mean? Get that hype up. Because listen, Birch, obviously, our mate Birch was at the Emirates for the Real Madrid game, and he said it was the craziest atmosphere. He said it was mental. And that's what happens. So I think this one comes from the players. Listen, if you're 1-0 down early, in the 70th minute, then you can start saying that's when you need that 12th man to get involved. But I agree with you entirely. But I think you score first. I think you win the tie completely. I really do. I said this to funny enough to players. If you score the first goal tomorrow, for me, you win the tie completely. You'll have the confidence to go out there and smash them up in. Their form over the last 4 games ain't been great. 1 win in 4.
No.
So
you think they're thinking about
they lost to
Nantes?
I think so, because listen, they're in the same boat as you are, ain't they? They've never won the Champions League either, and they've had far more opportunities than you boys have had to do it, as well as spend far more money than you boys have had to do it. So listen, their fans will be going they'll be nervous as hell as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'm actually, as a neutral, proper looking forward to it. Nothing better than your team being in the Champions League at this stage of the competition. But you know what I mean? The music, the night game, under the floodlights. Don't want to sound like Jimmy Hill here, but it's going to be spectacular. You know what I mean? So, it's going to be a great one for the
as long as they just play.
Do you know?
You have a league song.
And then they don't play Europa League song. That'll piss me off, honestly. Because you imagine, as a footballer,
Steve, oh mate, you'd be fuming, bro. Especially if you're Aston Villa, like PSG a little bit. They've earned it so many times. You're Aston Villa, the biggest game of your career. They're playing the Europa Leagues.
Yeah. Do you think, Garth,
TikTok, you'll go viral, bruv. You'll go viral with a dance on TikTok, mate. I'm just letting you know.
I was going to say, I could send you a few creators who they're very enthusiastic with their dances. They hit every beat, and they are famous.
Do you think? I'll just see what I don't know what you think. I think, like obviously we know where PSG's main danger lies. It's Kevin Skyler on that left, and Udembele on the right. I mean, that's where the majority of their that's where we're going to have to worry about the most. But I'm really confident because we've got Jurriën Timber on Kevin Skyler, and we've got Lewis Skelly on Dembele, and the way they played in that Champions League against where they tied up that Madrid's front three.
I think you've got to get out of your head, Steve. I think you've got to get. We performed so well against Real Madrid that they're going to do against PSG out of your head. If this is a completely different game, I know it's something that gives you hope.
It just gives you a little bit more confidence than it's just a confidence.
You definitely, but I don't think you can read into it. But I agree. Listen, everyone knows how much I love Timber. Everyone knows how much I respect Lewis Skelly. So, yeah,
it's nice. I
don't think your defence. Yeah. What's the other one they got? Desiree, is it? Desire? Is that the young kid? Is it young?
Yeah. He's a sub, isn't he? He don't even get on. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
He's in the Champions League game, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he comes on. He can do Vitina. They've got a solid team, man. They've got a solid team. But I agree with you. Listen, you shouldn't be worried because you're doing so well at the moment. I think more worried for you is scoring. That's where I'd be with your team. You've got to get that goal at home. You've got to score at least one at home. You've got to, I think, personally. So,
Steve, just on this before we move over to the Bilbao game, who do you think starts in that middle with Thomas Partey out?
Oh, yeah. I don't think. I personally, I don't think you should be swapping. People talking about putting Mourinho in there and putting Miles Skelly into the midfield and all things like this is what I've seen. I think you try and look, it's only for one game, so I think you try and keep it the same as much as possible. So that means bringing in someone, if possible, to play in that 8. And for me, for the one game, I'd bring Zinchenko in next to Rice. I mean, he's done it. He's played for Manchester City in big Champions League matches.
Yeah,
he's very experienced. He's played in that midfield for Ukraine. He actually is that. He is their number 8 for the Ukraine in the midfield. He's played there for 40, 50 caps, or however many he's had. So.
Oh, is it 9 o'clock? It's 9 o'clock, people.
9 o'clock. Before we go, let's
massive call, though, Keir.
Huh?
Massive call, sorry, who have they put in the middle there? So
it's a massive call. It is a big call. Personally, I think I'm siding more with what Steve's saying. Try and keep it as similar as what's been working. Moreno up in that number 9. I do feel sorry for a little bit for Trossard because he's just come in and played well and scored 3 goal contributions in the last 2 games as well. He's looked really sharp and looks happier, which is always important, which is always good. But yeah, I'd be more inclined to bring in Zinchenko, like Steve's saying, as opposed to chopping and changing more players around in different positions.
You say much better than me, but I'm the complete opposite. I really am the complete opposite. I'd have the actual centre midfielder in centre midfield, and Trossard has done well in the last few games up top. But you know your team far better than me, so
Look, for me, either way, if he was to go with Trossard, I wouldn't be upset because Trossard's form has been really good in the last few games. And in all honesty, he's earned that spot. Like, if we're talking about players who come in and keep their shirt, Trossard has probably earned that spot in that position as the false 9 or in that 9. But Yeah, I've seen in the last couple of games he's moved Zinchenko into that centre midfield spot. So I wouldn't be surprised if he stuck with that.
I don't
Good as well.
understand. Yeah, I don't. Sorry, mate. I don't get the Miles Lewis Skelly thing. I don't know why I've seen a few people say, but he's only played there for Ireland. Ireland. So I don't know. I don't know where they get.
He had a half the other week, didn't he? He came in and played a half the other week in that 6.
Yeah. I'm not going to mind either. I don't think I'm going to be totally disappointed like you if he puts Mourinho in there, if he puts Trossard down the middle. I'm not going to oh no.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's at the Emirates. It's not like it's at the good in France where you probably may then think about putting Mourinho in there because he's more of that defensively solid. He can do everything, can't he?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a lot more defensively solid than what Zinchenko is. You're hoping at the Emirates you want someone who's on the front foot and can play the ball forward, and Zinchenko and Mourinho can both do that. But I don't know. Mourinho's just got this magic touch, isn't he, in the Champions League of late? He seems to have that little bit of stardust in him, where he's brilliant down the middle against Real Madrid in 2 games, plus in other games when he's played down the middle, he's scoring goals, he's assisting down the middle, and I'm just be a little bit concerned about changing that. But who knows? The Arteta, I'm sure, knows more than me. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Make sure you check my post-match reaction on the Transfer Exchange show on TikTok after every game. You can follow it there. Garth, big game against Bilbao on Thursday. Nico Williams is facing late fitness test. It doesn't seem like he potentially is going to make it.
Really?
But still a very solid team. What's your thoughts on the game quickly? Where do you see Man United's biggest threat?
Garth's going to say his own players.
Against us. No,
the biggest threat. No, Royland.
Yeah.
It's quick on Nico Williams. They're keeping it up and down, but I think he'll play tomorrow. I do. They said it's not as bad as first feared. I think it's a bit of brinkmanship there.
Home or away? Sorry, mate. Home or away? Home or away first? Home or away first?
Do you know what, Steve? Off the top of my dome, I really don't know. I actually don't know if it's.
I think you're away first.
I think it's at home first. Is it away first? Yeah, we're away. Yeah, we're away. We're away in Bilbao. And listen, they're a good team. I don't expect us to win the way we're playing. Obviously, Nico Williams, excellent for him. The one that everyone's looking at in the summer, in it, you know what I mean, for the last couple of years, to be quite honest with you, there've been people have been talking about him being the big thing coming over. Is it still Simon in goal? Unai Simon as their keeper in it. He's a decent keeper. I think is he still Spain number 1? To be fair, I don't know their team very well. I can't lie. Yeah, I don't know them.
You know a couple of players. That's about it.
Yeah,
they're just a solid team, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fourth in the league, ain't they? They're a good side. The way Man United are playing, I don't see us walking out of this over 2 legs with a victory. But similar to Arsenal, if we go out there, we get a cheeky 1-0 win, then it's all aboard. We're winning the Europa League, mate. Is what I'm saying there. The way we're playing, the way we are at the moment, anything can happen with our team. You know what I mean? Look at the Lyon game. We're 2-0 up, gave away 4 goals, and then somehow scored 3 in 10 minutes at the end of 7 minutes at the end of the game. So, yeah, it's gonna be. If you ask me over 2 legs, I think Bilbao will go through. I really do, and then I think they beat Spurs in the final. So, but listen, I'm hyped. It's European football. I'm not one of these people that looks down on any European competition, and I'm not just saying that because we're in it. I've said that forever. The Conference League, yeah. Listen, it still ain't the greatest, but it's still a European trophy. You know, for West Ham, that's a massive achievement. Chelsea, not so much because you're playing. I mean, goodness me, the teams they're playing this year are crazy. But yeah, so we need it to get into the Champions League next year. It makes Amorim's job a hell of a lot easier in the transfer market in the summer. So we really need it. But yeah, I've not seen anything in recent games to suggest we've got enough about us to beat Bilbao over 2 legs. So, and our main threat, Garnacho, if he's on form, Bruno, obviously. There's rumours Ahmed will be back for the second leg, but I mean, that might be too soon for him if you're asking me. So, yeah, the usual suspects for Man United. And as for them, like you said, Steve, they're just a good, solid Spanish team, ain't they?
Yeah. No big name, apart from Williams, there's nobody really of like massive name.
Is his brother still there as well?
Miki
is it? His brother?
Yeah, his brother is,
Yeah. So, listen, anything can happen. Neither of us are the strongest teams. It could be one of those games. I'd say don't miss it because it could be one of those games.
Oh, I'm going to watch that, mate.
Non-stop entertainment.
Yeah, I'm going to watch
just end-to-end non-stop entertainment.
So the thing is, these games can be over.
Too much.
These games can be done and dusted in the first leg, can't they? I think Man United have just got a sort of like, I don't know. Emery never changes his way of style, does he? That's the only thing. I would just like, I don't know, try and hit them on the break. Just literally sit back, and hit them on the break. Just try and hang in there, and see if you can get the goal.
Yeah.
Go. And yeah, because one thing I do know about Bilbao is that they're very quick, very fast, very pacey. So you don't want to start, taking the game to them because
we've got Aaron Maguire at the back.
But yeah, just like Ugarte, Casemiro or something, and I don't know. We've got another DM you can put in there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And look, United, they can win it. They can win it. They can win the game. Bilbao are favourites. Look, definitely, they are favourites. They're fourth in the Spanish league.
Nothing wrong with going in there as the underdog.
Nothing at all. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know, who would you rather play, Bilbao or Bodo Glimt? I mean, Bodo Glimt, you'd be playing on that plastic pitch. I mean, that can? Do you know what I mean? You don't want to play teams on plastic pitches. Don't trust.
Well, we already struggled against them once this year.
Tottenham ain't going through. I tell you last week, they ain't going through.
They're that plastic.
He's getting sacked.
Did you know that last 2 seasons ago, Ange Postecoglou Celtic played Bodo Glimt, and they got beat 5-1 over 2 legs.
Tottenham ain't going through.
They ain't winning. They're not.
Bodo Glimt are one of them teams that will be a problem. They will catch them off guard, and Tottenham are too open. Do you know what? Do you know what Bodo Glimt are like? They're like a Brighton. They're like a Bournemouth. There we go. They're one of them, right? They're one of them type of teams. They're like
obviously they took Man United all the way to the
Come on.
Yeah. This season they took Man United all the way. 3-2 we beat them. They were 2-1 up as well. Like they took us all. Like they're a decent footballing team. They really are. So you know what? Yeah. If you take it back, you're right. Bodo Glimt going through. Bodo Glimt going to be in the final, you know what I mean? And they're beating.
They're plastic pitches, mate. They're plastic pitches.
Not very good. And they're very open. And when you're going away from home against a team that play on plastic pitches, it's an issue. I'm pretty sure that Arsenal played Bodo Glimt recently, a couple of years ago.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I don't think.
And they had trouble. That Brazilian scored.
Yeah.
We won 1-0 at their ground. 1-0.
That's right.
It was tough. I remember it.
Yeah.
Tough game. It won't be easy.
Tough. Yeah, tough. They've got one of those. They've got one of those Scandinavian teams, isn't it? You look like again. I don't talk about Football Manager, but I guarantee you, if I play Football Manager, I'll be able to look at their team for a couple of bargains. You know what I mean? Of just solid Scandinavian players, like averagely good, 6.5 every game. Nilsson, Berg, something like that. You know what I mean? Who have they got here? There's a Berg, Blumberg, Hilderson.
Nilsson. Oh, Nilsson.
Johnson.
He's like a solid. I'm not taking a mick. That's a solid team. So look, it's going to be interesting. They are.
It won't be easy.
I'll definitely be watching. I'll definitely be watching that Spurs Bodo game because you're right. I've got a feeling they may get slapped up actually. So especially can we just briefly? We're going to talk about before we go. that game against Liverpool, man, I've never seen anything like it. The capitulation was crazy, bruv. Spurs.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, mate, honestly, like I know, like last week I was saying, like I was worried, and you were both like, no, they're rubbish. I'm like, yeah, but we're rubbish. You're like, no, they're rubbish, and they are horrific.
Oh, they scored first as well.
Wow, are they?
16, 24,
but still, they conceded
4. I don't want to speak about it too much. I don't want to rip a team apart too much, like or a manager, yeah.
Oh, London forever.
Ange Postecoglou, he's not the guy. I've said it since that Chelsea game. Lunacy, absolutely crazy. Steve said it earlier. Well, the moment where he said, "Yeah, this is who we are, mate," and I was like, "Well, you're getting the sack." That's crazy. And the Tottenham fans right now are like, "Oh yeah, no, it's just a breath of fresh air, mate." 9 men, and he's defending on the halfway line. You conceded 2 goals at that point. Oh yeah, but we still had a chance to score. So what? What does that mean? What does that mean? Get out of it. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's move on. Onto the transfer updates. A couple of stories in from Steve this week. Nottingham Forest have joined the race for Mark Gahey, Steve.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's someone that I was told that they've got an interested in, but the only reason why they've sort of they're monitoring him and keeping an eye on him is just in case Murillo or is it Milinkovic, if one of those leaves, and if they did, they've got an eye on Mark Gahey because obviously he looks like he would be one of the ones that's from summer. So why not? Why not? Gahey in at Forest, especially if they're on the up, and and it seems like they've got a bit of money behind them, and but their main thing is to keep those two. But Murillo is being linked to what's the name? The club is in Brazil, and he was linked. Yeah, and it was linked in the last summer about him as well. But since then he's had a fantastic season, and Norwich Nottingham Forest don't want to lose him. But Gahey, look, he's again, we was talking about him earlier. He's a good player. He's probably going to be up for sale. I think there was an arrangement last summer that he would stay and leave this summer because there was a lot of who was it? There was a team. Was it Newcastle? Were just on the verge of signing him last summer.
Yeah.
I think the personal terms were agreed. Everything was agreed, and I think it was just that Crystal Palace, convinced him to stay, for another year, and he did. So, whether he's waiting for someone else, whether he's waiting for a Liverpool or something like that, or a Chelsea or whatever, we don't know. But Nottingham Forest, room for Mark Gahey, or keeping an eye on him.
All right. Another story that you dropped this week was Arsenal are keeping tabs on Valencia the kid Jarek Gajorowski.
That's what I went who when I was told what was like who. Who's that? What? Yeah, Gajorowski. No, to be fair, I did actually first bring it to people's attention in January, and Arsenal was scouting this kid, when the Dean Houston sort of come up from Fabrizio that that Arsenal were heavily interested in him, I thought, well, I know Arsenal were looking at this Spanish kid, so I started looking into that, and they said, the talks had been going on with the Gajorowski, Spanish international, young Spanish international, in the same mould as Houston, funny enough. And probably about they both, whether they warrant the same price, but they both probably about that. I think Gajorowski's got a release clause for about 50 million, 55 million from memory. But he's meant to be one of the next big centre backs. Is supposed to be coming out of Spain, so maybe Arsenal are looking at a young centre back. But look, I can't see Arsenal paying that amount of money. But I think they've got more chance of getting Gajorowski if they are looking for one, and getting the price down, and maybe talking Valencia into dropping that release clause because they're desperate for money. So,
Is this because?
Just asking, sorry, I didn't.
Go on.
Well,
I was asking how much. Sorry, I didn't hear the price. What's the price, Steve? Sorry.
I think it's quite
What
high,
they're
mate. I think it's about 55, 60 million. I think it's got his release clause is 55, 60 million. But I don't. Arsenal wouldn't pay that. It's the same. Like again, it's like with the Husum thing. Arsenal are not going to pay that.
Yeah, unless they're selling a Saliba, it doesn't make sense.
And then you wouldn't want one of those two coming in to replace Saliba, would you? You'd want someone more ready made. But there's a link there again. There's a Spanish link. There's two players who was of same age, of same price. They're both Spanish. So again, you there was links to this kid in January. So there's a connection there. There's something. There's definitely something going on. But yeah, he's one that you got. Arsenal fans should note, write down, put it in their drawer, and just keep an eye on him and go and watch him because he's meant to be one of the next big things out of Spain in the league of football. So hence why for the big release clause. But yeah, but they always have big release. Spain and Portugal always put ridiculous release clauses.
Yeah.
And then, but what they tend to do, people you always notice, it always tends to drop release clauses these days as well. So they generally don't normally stay, especially if you're out of Portugal. They tend to drop, like Goriki's did, from 100 million to now like 58.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest may still make a move for Manchester City midfielder James McAtee, even if they keep forwards England international Callum Hudson-Odoi and Anthony Elanga, both of whom have admirers. Jamie Vardy announced he will be leaving Leicester at the end of the season.
Bit of Vardy.
With clubs like Wrexham.
Do you know what, Steve? I wouldn't. If he came in on a dirt cheap wage structure, I wouldn't be upset. It's not what I want. But 1 year, Jamie Vardy, I know he's 38, but that's just,
it's a bit
as
much,
a freebie. Or listen, he's proven he ain't going to do much for us, but we've signed worse. You know what I mean? So, he's old, he's 38, and I don't think he fits the system. But he's still got legs on him. He still moves about pretty. I haven't watched much Leicester this year, to be fair. But
really, no.
It's bad we are right. That's where Man United are at the moment.
That's where we are. Shows you his vulnerability.
I remember in 2000 and I remember in 2016 when Arsenal, he had a release clause, Jamie Vardy, and Arsenal broke the release clause. Do you remember?
Yeah, and he said no. Well, he's missing.
And he said no, didn't he? He said no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Don't
because
go.
of what Leicester have done for him.
He's one of them. No, he's just one of them. He's comfortable where he knows what he's got to do when he gets to Arsenal. He's not going to be able to be drinking his Red Bull, smoking snout around the corner. You know what I mean?
100%. As a little cheeky snout.
I thought, of course he does. Yeah. And I thought fair play to him. I can't lie. At the time, I thought fair play. You know what you're about, son. You know what I mean?
A Carabao Cup. Or an FA Cup, and he's won a league.
FA Cup and the Premier League. Yeah,
FA Cup and Premier League. Yeah. At Leicester, mate. When you become and he started off at non-league, came with Southport. Was it Fleetwood?
Fleetwood, mate. Fleetwood.
Two championship winners medals as well. Coming up from the championship, he's done that twice with them. Got what? 25 England caps.
Broken records. His career's been outstanding.
Yeah.
England caps, which he never thought he would have done when he weren't.
Another team.
26 caps, 7 goals. You think about it. Fair play to him. Fair play to the geezer, mate. You know, don't miss terms.
Another year where Arsenal finished second. Thanks. So we were Liverpool, Man City, and Leicester.
Yeah.
Maybe we're never meant to finish higher than second anymore, mate. Maybe.
That, Steve, but can you touch some wood, please? Jamie,
have you seen the Pope thing? Have you seen the Pope thing? If you believe
Pope thing, I've seen Aaron Ramsey thing, I think as well. We're not going to say anything. No.
What
I like about Jamie Vardy is shithousery as well. scoring against Spurs and showing them.
Awesome.
I love that, and that's what you like. You
Yeah.
want those characters in football. Jamie Vardy could have been a character in football in the 90s when there was loads more. Like now, you seem to have lost a lot. It's good to have people like
we used to love that in our day. I say our day, you know, the football when we used to enjoy it. Do you remember when Craig Bellamy used to give it there? I think he was one of the first to do it. Was just giving it that.
Yeah, mate. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you
apart
can back
the golf
it,
club celebration, apart from that one,
if you can back
was over
it, then do it. Then talk all the rubbish you want to talk. Yeah. Because you can back it, so yeah, I've got nothing against it, and I love that kind of stuff. Chelsea are in talks with representatives.
Everybody rings that player who would buy a pub once he retired. Oh, sorry, Keir, sorry, mate. I was saying, he rings that player buys a pub after he retires. Jamie Vardy buys a pub after he retires.
Sits
there.
Now it's nailed on.
His glory days. Sorry,
brother. Chelsea are in talks with representative Borussia Dortmund's English winger Jamie Gittins with a view removed from 42 to 52 million pounds. Strasbourg have reached an agreement to keep English manager Liam Rossini at the club despite interest from Premier League clubs who were sniffing around him. Athletic Madrid have made Tottenham's Argentinian defender Christian Romero one of their top targets this summer. He oozes.
Madrid, didn't he? He's got written all over it, isn't it?
Oozes it, Simeone.
Yeah.
Manchester City expected to make a move for Italy and defenders and Juventus fullback Adrian Cambiaso, with the Italian club turning their attention to Arsenal's Portuguese defender Nuno Tavares, who is currently on loan at Lazio. Manchester United have offered Wolves forward Mateus Cunha a 5-year deal with the 25 million opts to move to Old Trafford. And Chelsea are pushing hard to seal the sign of Juventus forward Kenan Yildiz and face competition from Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United and Manchester City for the Turkish international. All right. Have you got any more transfer stories, Steve, which you haven't posted?
No, not well. We're hearing that Adam Ramsdale's being looked at by Bayer Leverkusen. That's something that I heard today. More news that
good for him.
that looks like Edison's leaving.
Yeah,
Edison's going.
Okay.
That looks 100% nailed on now.
Back to the wheel.
And Diego Costa, obviously something that I broke first.
Costa, that's the one, yeah.
You know, quite a while ago, and everybody else has jumped on it. Now, you know,
did you say okay? Sorry, Man United should have signed him.
Yeah.
Crazy we did.
Yeah, that's me.
Crazy that we didn't. Anyway, sorry, Steve.
Yeah. So like just those two really, two that have come to light over the last few hours before tonight. So Ramsdale to Bayer Leverkusen is an interest one. Bayer Leverkusen are looking for a new keeper. They've also looked at the Chelsea keeper Petrovic and the guy at Arsenal, also looking at Joel Garcia and Manchester United for that matter.
And Brighton's keeper, I think, as well. They've looked at, haven't they?
Yeah, and Bayer Leverkusen's goalkeeper. Yeah, so I had that confirmed tonight actually. So that by whether that's Ramsdale's thing, you know, whether he's maybe looking for a new change, you know, go to a different country.
I think he should.
You know, some
great for his goalkeeping development.
I think Tom, one of my colleagues, made a joke saying, well, at least he won't get relegated with Bayer Leverkusen, which was a good point. So that's it'd be with Granit Xhaka, wouldn't he, as well, was there? So might be a good move for him.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can't forget that.
The only thing is, obviously, Xabi Alonso's probably gone, isn't he?
Oh, Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso's almost definitely at Real Madrid next year.
Yeah, he's going Real Madrid, is it?
Yeah,
almost definitely.
Yeah. And Galatasaray are sort of interested in Xhaka as well, but I can't see that. I can't see Xhaka. I think Xhaka moved to Germany to be close to family, so I'm very surprised if that comes past.
All right. That is all we have time for. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Go on.
Did you see Galatasaray taking the mick out of Jose Mourinho? If not, go and look at that, people. Go and look at it. Find the video. They did a South Park cartoon of him just like ripping the piss out of Jose Mourinho.
Oh, really?
All the time, all of this nonsense. Like, yeah. It's really quite good. Really quite good.
He hasn't changed one bit. Thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. Thank you for joining us in the comment section if you've been to that, and if you've been watching on Twitter, press that like and press that retweet. If you are watching on YouTube and you are new to the show, press that like and subscribe button. If you are a regular, press that like and press that share button. You don't have to press anything. You can just press the paperclip, the share link. That all counts. Come and follow me on TikTok on the Transfer Exchange Show and Kieran AFT, where I talk about everything football related and sports as well. Actually, it's not just football. I throw in athletics, boxing in there as well, and the Kieran AFC for anything Arsenal as well. Thanks for joining us tonight, Garth.
Pleasure as always. Thanks very much.
And thank you for joining us tonight, Steve. Make sure you go and follow Steve on.
Please, right.
I won't ever call it X. On Twitter, you can find him there and ask him any questions on the latest transfer news and rumours as well.
And they certainly do.
They do.
At all hours.
All right, people. Big game for Arsenal tomorrow and a big game for Man United.
Coming you Gunners. Good luck, Man United.
Hopefully it's good news and smiling faces next Monday. Make sure you catch us live at 8 o'clock. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands.